Hi, everybody. This is Kelly. Obviously, you know who I am. I can't see chat yet, so give me a second here. I feel like I should let you get everything set up before you have to hit start. I see Benny Kisses.
This is Kelly.
And I don't want to hear myself because nobody likes to hear themselves. Okay, pop out chat. Close it. Close it. Well, hello, Miss Alchemy's Arrow. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. How are you doing? Hello, Mr. Simon and Captain Nolan, sir. I wouldn't obviously do it with my left hand, but that was the hand that wasn't in the mouse or on the mouse. Okay, let me. Hello, Misty Hall. Okay. Okay. I have chat. I have that closed. Hello, Melanie and Maharat. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bunny Kisses. Happy birthday to you. And many, many more. Oh, you've relocated. Congratulations on your move, and thank you very much on the hair. I was going to try to regrow it, but as people who watch me every week know, probably notice I chopped it again because, you know, my thinking is my sister's going to have to start to regrow her hair. In fact, for those of you, I know many of you have been praying for her. Thank you so much. She was here all this week, so I got to spend all week with her, and we were inspecting her head yesterday because this is what we do as sisters. You know, when you have sisters or good friends, you can inspect their bald heads. And so we were inspecting her head because she had her last dose of chemo 3 weeks ago, I think it would be. Maybe 4 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. Anyways, it's enough where she thought she was growing some hair back. Some little bits were starting to show, but she didn't trust herself. So I inspected it, and she did. She's got fuzz growing, and some a little bit more than fuzz. I mean, you can definitely. I mean, she's bald, but you can definitely see some growth. And so she was very excited about that. So I figure, you know, she's got to grow it out. I can keep mine shorter longer so we can grow it out together, right? But I came here just nerdy snaily came here to hear me inspecting my sister's head. I know, it's the weird things we can do with our sisters, right? Or friends. Good friends let each other inspect their bald heads. My nieces and nephews were around, and my other sister, my younger sister's kids were there, and Joanna's like, you know, is it going to scare? She was kept asking my other sister. She's like, is it going to scare them if I take mine? And she's like, no. I'm like, no. It's a good learning moment for children that sometimes people's heads are bald, and so we pulled it off so that I could inspect it. And my nephew, who is like 2 years old, maybe, he was just kind of like. He was standing down, so he had to look up, and he just kind of sat there, was just like staring at her like, you don't look the same as the last time I saw you. It was pretty cute. Kids are pretty funny. Anyways, sorry about that, rolling right into it. She just left this morning, really early this morning. They just left, so we've had her all week, which has been really nice. Sometimes after hair, Kimiko goes, yes. She's kind of hoping to have curly hair. Her hair is similar to mine in that it's wavy, but it's not curly. But we do have a lot of curly in our family. So she's wondering if it might come back curly. We shall see. Oh, hello, Miss Anna. I know Miss Anna's moving. Getting ready to put a house up for sale, so I had to put all my deck crystals away. Oh no, but at least they're safely put away. And you only need the one, right? The glorious one. Oh, can we go from, important talk of my poor sister's chemo and bald head to I finally found a straw that all of you will find acceptable because it's not plastic, but that it meets my criteria. Um, the hunt for the perfect non-plastic straw has so far stuck here. I've tried metal. No, hate the metal. Hate the metal. Like I literally think I took one drink out of the metal and I threw them all away, which I shouldn't have done. I should have given them to somebody, but I was disgusted by it. And the second one was paper. No, did not like the paper. I tend to have drinks sitting around and the paper they were nice ones and the paper just unraveled and it tasted like paper. I don't want to taste paper. I don't want to taste metal. No, did not approve of either of those solutions. This is silicone and it's actually better than plastic because it does not. You can put it in really hot drinks and it will not bleed chemicals, which plastic can do. So this is silicone and it doesn't taste like anything and it sits and it doesn't float, which is nice because it's heavy and it cleans up really well and it came with a brush to clean it. So far, the silicone straw has succeeded whilst other straw has failed greatly. So important, isn't it? These important topics of bald hair growing back on bald heads and silicone straws. This is how we roll at Saturday Chats. I have already talked for a few hours. And I had my final class for my journey tokens. And that went a good, almost 3 hours. I see Raven Song is here to hear me talk some more. So she might know. I think it was about 3 hours. So excuse the excessive drinking. But my throat's a little raspy. Fluffy pipe. Yes, she has been using I know Raven Song has said that before about the pipe cleaners. It did come with a little cleaner, so that's good until I need it. I actually got it was a pack of them, a rainbow colored pack at Michael's. If you live in the United States, Michael's is like a craft store, and but I saw these also on Amazon. So, and I read then after I got them, I read about how good the silicone was better than plastic and even like solid plastic. And I'm so far so good. I'm enjoying them. It was 3 hours, Selkie said. She was there too, coming back for more. Mr. Jones. So, yes, much easier on the teeth, iridescency for sure. There is metal with silicone inserts. Now, see, that would be interesting, although it would not. No, it would not. I'm sorry, nerdy snaily, dirty snaily. Because the metal, I like banged my teeth on the metal, and it was the taste. I didn't like the taste, but I also didn't like the outside feel or to. No, I didn't like the metal at all. Those were wretched. Anyways, sorry. Oh, hello, Miss Lucy. I didn't know that was you. Nice to know. So yeah, that is something that's exciting. My straw, because I know my plastic straws were a no-go. My disposable plastic straws were a no-go. So I have been working to find a suitable replacement, just so you know. Oh, hello on the cusp. Oh, it has a silicone tip. Interesting. I will take a look. They have them on Amazon in the UK, so I'm not sure. I'll take a look for that. I will definitely take a look. Thank you for the heads up, because I am trying to find. I'm a straw drinker. It's just the way it is. So I'm interested in seeing. trying things out, but the straight metal, no. Straight glass, no. Paper, no. I have not tried the bamboo because by the time I got through those, I was like, it's just going to taste like wood. I just kind of was over it. And so that's when I tried the silicone. This is important stuff. It's important stuff. It actually is important stuff because there are some places where you're not even going to be able to get plastic straws, so you better find a solution. Hello, Miss Nikki. We missed you. Alchemy's Erica. I may get my first reader's job at a local magic shop. I just want a local magic shop. I think I'm just going to have to make my own magic shop. Not here because I hope to move somewhere else. But the next place that I go that's like, I'm going to stay here, maybe I need to have like a little magic shop because I wish that there was a magic shop around because I think it would be awesome. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. If you use plastic straws and dispose of them in a way that leaves no chance of winding up in turtles like melting them, will that work? I don't know. I am not up on the whole straw debate, to be honest. So I'm the wrong person to ask that issue of. Silicone you can actually burn, and I didn't quite understand what it was saying, but it does something. Like you can burn these they last for a very long time, but you can cleanly burn them and it just like dissipates. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't tried to burn them. Kelly, did you see Baba Studios is bringing the Bohemian Gothic Tarot? I heard that. I have a real problem with purchasing guidebooks extra outside of the deck. It's a personal thing because I don't use guidebooks a lot. And so I have a little bit of a hard time to purchase a guidebook separate from a deck. I feel like they should come together or not exist. That's just a little bit of my own biases. However, Baba Studios, Karen's deck or guidebooks are amazing. And so that does tempt me. The only thing is that I have worked with the guidebook on the app. So you can, I see Patrick is on there. Hello, Mr. Patrick. There was an app on the iPad for the Bohemian Gothic Tarot, and so I have worked with the guidebook, but to be honest, I don't reference back to guidebooks a lot. There are some exceptions. There's always exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, I don't really use guidebooks a lot, so I probably will not purchase it. That one does tempt me just because it's my soul, one of my pieces of my soul deck, one of the many pieces. I do love that deck, so I am tempted, but I'm trying not to spend the money. So we'll see. We shall see. We shall see. See that? Did you hear the sometimes she sounds like she has a little bit of like hound in her. Every once in a while she does this sound just like that, and it scares the bejesus out of me, like because it's this sharp and like baying sound. I don't know if I told you this last week. If I did, I apologize. Whatever. We had these new people moving in upstairs, and it's like a young couple. And they're really nice for once, really nice and really young. And they were moving stuff in. And so the parking lot is out. There's a little patio on my apartment that is over the little tiny parking lot. And he was taking stuff out of his trunk. And we could see him. And Belle did did one of these baying barks, and he about fell on the ground. Scared the bejesus out of him, which was it was so funny. Those didn't end up being people. I thought that's what they were doing, but it ended up being people who were working on our front door wasn't working correctly, and so they were fixing it. But I think they were like drilling into metal or something. I think that's why it was so loud, but that wasn't them. But anyways, it was pretty funny because literally this young guy, and he just literally I bet you he peed his pants. I don't think he would admit to it, but if it was me, I would have peed my pants. Anyways, just a random story time about when your dog scares the crap out of people. Sorry, I feel like I'm not going to be very on point today, but that's okay. We're allowed to not be on point sometimes. I love guidebooks, says Patrick. I know about Patrick does, which behooves me because then when he gets tired of a deck, he sends them to me with the guidebook. Maybe that's why I don't buy guidebooks, because I know eventually Patrick's going to send me his guidebook. Let's be honest here. Nerdy Snaily. I never use guidebooks unless it's Oracle cards. Yeah, see, I do even less, I think, with Oracle cards. Usually I study the book. Yeah, I mean, I do like to read it. It's true. Patrick admits it. So I end up like I got the Pagan Other Worlds guidebook, which I would not have gotten, and the Super Oracle guidebook, which I wouldn't have gotten. So it works out. For me anyways, not so much for him, but let's see. But I know what I was going to say. I do like to read the guidebook. So, I mean, almost not every, I can't say every one. I used to say every one, but I can't say every one. But most of them, most of the time, I do like to read through the guidebook once. It's just that I don't go back to them very often, except for very specific decks. Patrick says, although he has sent me decks that he doesn't want, and he's kept the guidebooks. That is true. So it probably balances out. It balances out. The Rust Belt, what? The Rust Belt Arcana is a tarot deck of 78 cards, but the book is only, I don't approve of that. I mean, I guess it's not to approve or not approve. It's their thing to do whatever they want. I mean, at least if it's advertised, then, whatever, then we can make a decision, right? So as long as it's well advertised, I think it doesn't matter. It probably would not stop me from using a deck because I don't use the guidebooks anyways that much. But I do think if you're going to make a guidebook and you have 78 cards, then it should probably have all the cards in it, even if it's just a shorter one for the minors, which some people do, right? Sometimes they put a lot of focus on the major arcana, but then they just like maybe give you a smaller snippet for each of the minors. They are. I'm sorry, I'm jumping. I'm so jumping here. Simon says the dummy books are really comprehensive. They are. I think somebody asked for astrology. The 2 books that I kept, I have 3 astrology books, and one of them is Patrick's fault. Now, I've read a lot of astrology books. I had a lot of astrology books, but the ones that I kept, because you know how I have a small apartment. I try to only keep 1 or 2 books per topic that I'm going to keep as a reference, right? So this is exactly what Simon says. This is astrology for dummies. Dummies books are actually really great. We have in the U.S., I don't know, they're probably everywhere, we have the Dummies and the Idiots guides too. But I actually find dummy books to be great, just kind of give you the basic information. They're not going to, in topics like this, they're not going to go super woo-woo or anything like that, but they're going to give you the basic information. And so I kept this because it's a great little reference. And then I also kept the Llewellyn's Complete Book of Astrology. because again, it was just a good reference. It seemed to have, I don't have the tarot's dummies because I don't have many tarot books, because by the time I was buying books, I'd already been reading tarot for a very long time, right? And so I already kind of had myself down. So I really haven't purchased many tarot decks because I don't really use them. Whereas I do still reference astrology books. So I kept this one. And then I also do have, yes. Ben About When has an astrology course. I know. I'll stop putting it up there too much. I'll just show it, and then you know what? I can turn that off actually. But if I click on this, it's going to freeze my face. I usually turn off the autofocus. But anyways, this one I kept, and then I took. I took Ben About One has class, an astrology class that I think was like $40. But I really got it to get her reference material because her reference books are amazing. So that is very reasonably priced for the reference material alone. So that, and then Patrick had me get this one. I know it's going to go in and out again. Sorry. This is called Astrology Using the Wisdom of the Stars in Your Everyday Life by Carol Taylor. And it was really pretty cheap. And so I just picked it up. I don't agree with everything in this one. I haven't read through this, so I'm not, this one, I know it's gonna wiggle again. Sorry, folks. I can't fully recommend this one. Now, Patrick may have read it and could maybe give some more. I haven't read this from beginning to end. And there are some things that I don't fully agree with, but that's okay. That's going to be the same with all reference books for me. But I do really like how it's laid out, especially for somebody who is new to astrology. So those are the astrology books that I have. Okay, I'm going to stop sticking things up there so it doesn't wiggle. Nikki says, I did get a new earring. Thank you. I had it in last week. You can see it's like that loose. I had it in last week, but nobody noticed it. Miss Nikki, you are very, very observant. Yeah, this was actually my first needle earring. I have obviously 2 in both sides. I'm going to have to fix that because it's going to drive me nuts. I can see it moving in and out. I have 2 on each side. I have had my cartilage up here done twice with a gun. This is before I knew anything about needles. And it would never take. It always, it just never healed well because you shouldn't put guns in cartilage. I didn't know this, so I did it twice. So I may get that done or this side done again when Katie goes to get, or when Katie and I go on her birthday to get a tattoo, because we always get birthday tattoos, both of us, on her birthday for some reason. But anyways, my tattoo place where I go get tattoos also does needle piercing. So this was my first time getting a needle piercing. And I just said, take it as high up as you could without going into the cartilage, because I didn't, I was afraid it wouldn't heal right, because this one wouldn't heal right, but I think it was because of the gun. Long way to say, yes, I did get a new, yes, I did get a new earring, and gold star to Miss Nikki for noticing. KJO has got a new name. I won't remember, Miss Mimi, but hello. Thank you for the Marielle review. I did one on Amazon. The author's asking feedback to her. Thank you for reminding me, though, Mimi, Lulu, or KJO, whatever your name is, Mimi. I did, so if you've watched, I did a review on the Marielle second edition, or I did a comparison. I did contact Schiffer because I'd heard that they were giving refunds and stuff, but I didn't know it for myself. And so I contacted Schiffer. They answered me right away and said that they had stopped production on that version because of the problems that people were having, and they were reprinting it, and they are giving complimentary new decks to people who bought the second edition. All I did was take a picture of my receipt and email it to him with my address, and it put me on, he put me on a list so that when it gets printed, and he did not have a time frame for that, but that I would get a replacement deck. So they are replacing the decks that are already out in circulation from the second edition. So I did want to put that out there on video. So thank you for saying something to remind me. Okay, okay. I probably missed things. Oh, Mr. Captain Nolan wanted me to hold it up and show the layout. Well, it's kind of like a different layout. It's just very colorful. Which, I mean, we don't need color to enjoy things, but it makes it just, it's set up really nicely with like boxes, like modes in your chart for the cardinal fixed and mutable, the polarities of the chart. It's just, I think for somebody that's new to, and not, I feel like it's just graphically laid out well. Each of the signs shows like the planets, Mercury through all of the signs and what it would look like, but it's all kind of connected on one page. So I just think that it's set up pretty clearly for people trying to just get information out there. It feels like a new, like a beginner kind of book, so much as I've read it so far. So again, it's not one that I'm recommending myself because I haven't read it all, and there were some things weren't exactly the way that I saw them. That's always going to be the case. Everybody interprets things slightly differently. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back to see what I missed. Tarot student, what tattoo will I get this year? I'm going to get some kind of an herb or plant of some kind. That's all I know. Or a swallow. Katie has a swallow. I did say what the fuck was called before. I already held it up here. People are yelling at me. Christina. No, just teasing you. It's called Astrology Using the Wisdom of the Stars in Your Everyday Life by Carol Tate. I did read this, folks. I can have deja vu. I did say. So yes. And I think Patrick said, I missed it, but I saw Patrick typing. I think he gave a little mini review. So yeah. Oh, here, Captain Nolan put it up there too. Thank you, sir. No, don't shut them up. I'm just teasing. I just saw all these things and I was like, what? I said. Let's see. I'm scrolling back. Oh, my tattoo. Yeah, it's going to be some kind of a plant. That's all I know. Mr. Jones. Oh, Bunny Kisses says, I see the Crystal Medicine Oracle in the back. Oh, I use this. I have a pile of my decks are a mess. At the end of my token class, we were pulling, like I was showing ways of working with, like working with tokens with Oracle or Tarot or something. So I was just randomly pulling things out. So I pulled this out. I don't really have, we can pull a couple cards. I haven't worked with this a lot yet, so I don't really have an update on this one. I will say, I mean, I mostly try a lot of Oracle decks with you guys for live chats, but in like my practice, like the readings that I do that have Oracle decks in it really have fairly specific Oracle decks that I use. I use fairly specific Oracle decks for myself. So it's harder for me to test out or work with a new Oracle deck than it is for me to test out a tarot deck. So they tend to take me a lot longer for me to try them out. So we'll pull a couple and see. It shuffles really nice. Now this is a Rockpool Publishing. I do, this is one of those funny exceptions, right? Rockpool Publishing has quite thin cardstock and it's very glossy. I shuffle the heck out of like my cosmic reading cards and such. So I will say, while I think people would say Rockpool Publishing isn't the greatest ever cardstock, it holds up really well and it shuffles really well. And some people like glossy. I'm not a fan of glossy, but I do have to say that Rockpool Publishing cardstock takes a beating from me on the decks that I do use a lot and holds up well. So what are you going to complain too much about it, even though it's like not like amazing cardstock? It's just, it does the job. I know I'm missing things while I do this, but I'm just going to pull a couple cards because my answer is I haven't really worked with this. And so let's pull a couple and see. It calls me, like, I don't know about you guys, but if you have a lot of decks or they're sitting on your shelf, like I do, it's one of those that says, you need to work with me at some point. You need to work with me, but I just haven't quite got there yet. So we have Soul Awakening. We have Personal Power, which has my bear in it. And we have Eagle, which I adore. Okay, so let's see what we get here. So this is Medicine Pouch Soul. Oh, so it has the title, and then it's gonna drive us nuts. Okay, let's pause here for a second, folks. We're gonna fix this because we've got much time left to go. And as I start holding cards up, it's gonna go like this and drive us crazy. So I'm probably gonna freeze. Advanced. Autofocus off. You. Okay, I should be back, but I'm gonna wait until I hear somebody say that they can see me. So somebody let me know once you can see me back again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. I just couldn't stand to watch that go in and out any further. That was going to drive me crazy. Okay. So with this deck, it has the title of the card at the top, and then it's associated with some item or animal or something like that. And then it can sometimes also have, on this side, it has a crystal that it's associated with. So this one is Soul Awakening. It's associated with the medicine pouch that you would traditionally see in a lot of different shamanic traditions. And its crystal association is with amethyst celestial. So Soul Awakening, I mean, it kind of, to me, speaks of what it says. It's this idea of having this moment of awakening, but at that deep level. So we have that. But where does that come from? It comes from tapping into your own personal power. The more that we step into our own power, the more than what I love that there's a bear here, and the crystal here is chrysotile. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But the more that we step into our own personal power, this is what's going to allow ourselves to awaken, right? It's going to allow that awakening to occur. It doesn't come from not stepping into our own power, not being the sort of driver's seat in our own life. It's that act of us stepping forward and kind of doing the sun. So for me, the sun card isn't about babies. The sun card is about personal mastery, and that once we have that personal mastery, that's what brings us true happiness, is from our mastering of ourself. So personal power is stepping into that energy of our own power and mastery, and then that's going to cause this awakening and the sense of freedom that we have with the eagle. So the eagle is associated with freedom, and it's with blue barite. So I really like this combination because hinging on our personal power is that sense of soul awakening, is that sense of freedom, that doesn't come from giving away our power, even though it feels like it for a moment, doesn't it? When we think about the devil card, why do people give their power away, right? There's a lot of different reasons that we do that. But at some degree, there is a sense of freedom that is involved, or a false sense of freedom that's involved with giving away personal power. So if you think about and again, nothing against all religion. This is just a generalization based on my own personal experience. But if you look at some especially strict fundamental style religions where the premise is that the people in that religion let go of all personal power, responsibility to obviously either God, but also sometimes to the ruling body of the church. And so the problem with that is that yes, those people have a sense of freedom and that they don't have to make decisions. They don't have to think through the hard things. They don't have to take responsibility for their own actions and things of that nature. So there is a degree of false freedom, I think, that can come from abdicating our own power, but it isn't true freedom. And so I really like this message here, that it's when we take back and we own our own power and our own responsibility. We're responsible for our own choices. When we do that, that's when we really gain freedom, and that's when we really get that sense of awakening. So there you go. There's our first reading. I do like this deck. The artwork I like the artwork. Let me rephrase that. I don't like the people in the artwork very much. But that's just a standard issue with me and people and how people are painted. I also can't paint people very well. So, it's something I'm working on and learning. So I can understand that not being the easiest of things. And we all have personal feelings on how that should be. But the messages that we've gotten the couple times we've used it, I'm enjoying it. But that's as far as I can say. I haven't used it extensively. So hopefully that answers. Now I don't even know who asked, but hopefully that answers a question about that. This is called the Crystal Medicine Oracle by Rachel Sharman. And it is a Rockpool Publishing book or deck. I got it at Barnes and Nobles, I think. Sorry for the mess. It's just the way it is at the end of a class because I throw things in there. I have somebody asked whether or not I've ever trimmed a round deck. I don't have very many round. Don't squeeze it. I was thinking that, Captain Nolan. I was just being good and didn't say it. I was going to say something and now you made me lose it. Oh, I don't have many round decks and I've never trimmed one. I have seen people trim it because the one tarot that I have is I don't remember what it's called. It's a circle deck and it's a fairy deck, really cool fairy deck, not a fairy like, sprinkling glitter fairies. And that one, used to have the way they did the borders was not good. The way I think they did different languages around the border. And I have seen people trim that one successfully. I am good with scissors, but it would make me a little bit nervous, to be honest, to trim around one. The diamond backs are a bit off to me. I guess I don't pay a super lot of attention to backs. Yeah, that's definitely not my favorite. Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite. Again, the artwork of the deck isn't my absolute favorite, but if a deck works anyways, that's okay. I'm learning. That's one of the things I have learned by having quite a few decks, is that sometimes it doesn't have to be artwork that I would put on my wall. And I can still, oh, I'm sorry, Nikki. I thought you were talking about that one. There's another conversation going on, which I should already know. I apologize. I know better than to dive into a response to something that could have been to something else. So that's my fault. I have, because while I'm talking, the conversation continues on. That's okay, as it should. Okay, so I'm sure I was saying something else and I lost track, but that's all right. I'm just skimming to see if I can catch a thread, but I'm not going to because I'm just going to get lost. Something is a tarot deck. Still don't know what they're talking about. I feel the same about the tarot of the sheet. See, yeah, I can understand that too. I am not crazy about the artwork of that at all. I passed that on, even though I do think it's an extremely powerful deck. That was one that was just too alien-esque for me. And it's not that I'm opposed to aliens. I love movies and things about aliens, but I'm not overly interested in connecting with aliens, if that makes sense. Not that I'm saying anybody is trying to connect to aliens with the Tarot of the She, but I have a very specific understanding of Fey energy, very specific, and it's very much a part of my spiritual identity, the way my worldview. And so I have a very hard time working with decks that are outside of that, but that are Fey decks. It's just a personal thing. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just the way it is. So it's like waiting for good breeze when you're kite flying. Yes, Savannah. Oh, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up to the atmosphere. Up with the I'm stopping. With tuppence for paper and string, you can have your own pair of wings. Bye, Nina. Good luck on your move. Okay. Yes, from what I think I'm going to try to dive into what a conversation that other people are having, not with me. So I apologize if I mess this up. They are talking about the Living Wheel Animal Oracle and whether or not it's a tarot card and tarot deck. I never saw any language that made me think that it was a tarot, but I have to admit it's not something that has really appealed to me. I think it's going to be collage-y, and I'm not a big fan of collages. Hello, Jessica and Mr. Elrond. As long as they pay your fee, if they're ETs, who cares? I'm not sure what you're talking about because I have no clue what you're talking about. I'm talking about contacting, like feeling like I'm tapping into alien energy. I have seen the Alien series one too many times, as well as Love Predator. So I am not, and I feel the same way about Fey energy. Let's be fair. Yes, I meant the Wild Unknown. I was saying, did I say that? I was probably looking at your name when I said it. The Wild Unknown Oracle, excuse me. Sorry. I feel like I've not had anything to drink. I apologize. I promise. Oh, I can't tell, Miss Claire. You have to put a big smiley face or something on there. But I think it's a good opportunity to discuss. We've talked about in the past that, you have to be careful with Fae energy. Every energy that is Fae is not something that is going to be helpful or useful. This is very deep, very old, very powerful, very ancient energy, and not all of it is fluffy. And I think the same thing. You see a lot of alien-esque decks and or like starseed things and stuff like that. And so I think that the same thing goes for that. I believe in aliens. I definitely believe that there is extraterrestrial life out there. I do not believe we are the only planet in this billions of planets that have life, but they're not all going to be friendly. So, Christina, I know you were joking, sweetie pie. Do not have to apologize. I was just harassing you. I just saw a couple things and I saw all these capital letters like, tell us the title. I'm like, I did tell you the title. Don't worry about it, Miss Christina. Not at all. I needed you to just read the book. I'm not sure what book we're talking about. Oh, I think they're talking about this. I'm blank. Bet about when's deck. You would probably need it. Oh, somebody's giving us links. Okay, I'm just going to click this so that I have it up to look at later because I didn't know there were pictures up. And I find if I click the link, it just opens a tab for me, and that way I can go back and look at it. Oh, I see what you're talking about the backs. And it does look like a tarot. No, that's 30. That's 36. So that's not a tarot number. Oh, well, at least it's not. I don't know. That looks actually a little bit more intriguing than I thought. Sorry, folks. The Mystic. 21 as the Mystic. The Temple. That is more appealing. I haven't seen any images. And I will say that appeals to me a little bit more than I thought it would. So I'll definitely watch it a little more closely. Definitely am not impressed with the backs, but it's not my deck. So it doesn't have to impress me, right? For sure. But I'm kind of surprised by the backs because I do love the Wild Unknown backs. Okay. Christina, there's a link up a little bit above if you want to scroll back up there. There is a link, and there are a few images on Amazon. They didn't used to be when I first looked there, so you may want to take a peek at those. Alchemy's Arrow. She are very different and specific as well. It's hard. That is entirely true. Alchemy's Arrow. I don't envy anybody trying to capture that. And I think that very few people have, Brian Froud being one of them. For me, again, everybody's going to have their own ideas. But Brian Froud and Terror of the Hidden Realms are probably the only two that I would say, really are like 2 thumbs up for me. Okay, I'm scrolling back. I read most of it, Elrond. I mean, not like a thorough, like in mode, like with my highlighter, but I did read most of it. Yeah. Agreed about setting clear boundaries for sure. Okay. I'm not going to scroll back. Somebody asked me a question. I'm trying to find it. I think it was about the Herb Crafters Tarot. So if you're still watching and you asked me a question about the herb, I can't find it. So you'll have to ask me again. Sorry. Moon Priestess says, what is your next class that you're teaching? Playing card divination is up for registration and starts in July, the first Saturday of July. Now, Alchemy's Arrow, one that we're forgetting, and I don't have it. It's back on my other table. There is a fairy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I really have to clean these out because I pulled everything down to find something and now I have to put it back. There is a fairy forest one that Alchemy's Arrow will know what it is. The title of it is. That one is pretty close. I haven't worked with it enough yet to say for sure, but that one is pretty amazing. Let's see. Yes, thank you, Alchemy Zero. I knew you would know what I was talking about. Yes, Tarot of the Secret Forest, and yes, it's the one that you gave me. I haven't worked with it enough. I've worked with it personally, and it is a tarot, so I don't think it's as easy to work with as Tarot of the Hidden Realms. But that one's very intriguing. I just haven't had it as I've had Tarot of the Hidden Realms is one of my older decks, and Brian Froud is one of my original. The Heart one is one of my original ones, decks that I ever had. So I've just had those for a really long time. So I don't want to make a call on it yet. Okay, I am grabbing this because somebody asked again. Tarot student asked again. Are you? Oh, so we're talking about the Herb Crafters Tarot. And yes, I am absolutely loving this deck. 100%. I can't even read those words, Sherry. I can't even read those words out loud, Sherry, because I'm not going to put that out there in the world. Maybe you're not a fairy theme fan because, you know, it's one of those things for me that's like, it doesn't really matter if you're a fan of fairy because they're there anyway. It's like saying to Krishna, I'm not really a fan of God. And they're like, well, does it really matter if you're a fan of God or not, right? That's how I feel about Fae energy. It don't really matter. You can see the deep-seated worldview of Kelly at this moment. I actually put this back in order. I have taken it out and put it back in order a number of times. Yeah, decks for sure. I'm in the same Unashi, I am the same way about the decks. Real problem with decks. But yeah, no, I absolutely love this deck. I mean, the artwork is so, I know, that's how I feel. I mean, I literally read that and I was like, I'm not going to say that out loud. Do you want me to get like, have me lose all of my stuff, get lost somewhere? And you're like, no, I'm not reading that out loud. I know my Fae lore. I'm not going to say that. Not to mention, you're going to kill Tinkerbell, even if you want to go to the fun aspect. It's just stunning artwork. No, and I understand the same thing with animals. I agree. I mean, it's a complicated thing. Like, it's hard when you're really connected with something, to see other people try to visualize that is really difficult. So I think it's just an indication of how kind of important that particular energy might be for you. And just because a system, it just may not work for other people. Like, I know Patrick, I don't know if he's still on, but Patrick feels the same way about like plant decks. He likes to work with plant energy, but plant decks not so much. And I'm on about the same boat with that. However, this one I would say is different because it's not really a plant deck. It's an herb crafters deck. And so it does have a different focus that I think makes this work better than a bunch of plants. So crystals. I love crystals and I work with crystals. They're all over the place. I really don't use decks very often. Now, there's some exceptions to that rule. But, you know, if I want to work with crystals, I'm probably going to work with the crystal. If I'm going to work with plants, I want to have the herb or the plant or the essential oil. But I'm still looking for that perfect plant deck. And this one, as for an herb crafter, is absolutely amazing. Let me look at that. And the art is just so stunning. Yes, that is the long answer to, do I love this deck still? Yes. I have been, kind of putting them in order, like putting the minors in the number order, but then also putting the minors, like all of the twos together and sitting with those that way. I've really been digging into this one. And I've also done quite a few readings for myself. And yes, I love it. Absolutely love it. This is an example. I'm sorry, and I'm going to stop. This is an example of people who really sat with intention about reframing tarot, right? Sometimes, and I would arguably say most of the time when we get tarot decks, they are just, themes, right? They're specific themes that are placed on top of tarot. So you might have sort of a witchy theme or a pagan theme or something put on top of basic Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. And so that to me isn't a reworking. It's just a visual reframing, a visual redoing. And so but then there are some, like the Druid craft for pagan example, where they really do reframe it following the Dance of the Lord and the Lady through the major arcana. Or you think about Dreams of Gaia, where she reframes the major and she cleans up the minors. Or you think about even the Marielle, or you think about, the Santa Muerta, even the way that they reframe those minors are amazing. This is one of those decks where the intentional reframing of the numbers, framing of the suits, and the way that those interact and layer is really intelligently done, and so it's a joy. So there is that enough of a no. I bought this myself. I was not asked to give that that love. So hopefully that answers that. Mr. Jones, I think Kelly feels right about rooms and OMs. Yeah, well, and that's a little bit different too, Jones, Mr. Jones. That's a little bit different because for me, I have quite a few OM decks. I don't have very many. I think I only have one rune deck. My problem with the runes and OMs is it's just not, they are casting systems. And so I don't believe you get the same experience with a deck of OMs or runes as you do casting them. Now, this is coming from me who learned how to read OMs with an oracle. Well, that's not true. I had learned to read OMs before I had the living, but the tree oracle, the Celtic tree oracle, is one of my oldest decks. So most of the time that I spent working with OMs was with a deck. But as I've learned more and progressed more, and just kind of gotten myself, as I started teaching it and having to really go back and tap into things, it just isn't the same as casting them, and they are casting systems. So that's my issue with runes and OM decks, is just because it changes the system. So that's, I guess, a little bit different than whether you like to work with animal or use an animal deck or plants, or if you want to work with a plant deck. It's just that it's changing an inherent system. So that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm not on a buying frenzy either, except for art supplies, because I'm getting ready to start a new art project, and I think I'm going to do it on the channel. I've tried to do 2 separate channels to keep things separated, but to be honest, it's just a little bit much work. So they will probably show up on this channel. Let's see. Jessica says, do you ever mix the majors of one decks with the no. No, I kind of feel, Jessica, like I had that instant feeling like that kind of feels like the fairy statement. No, I have a deck that does that. I can't remember which one it's called, but it takes, so Oswald Wirth, Wirth, he in the late 1800s, I would say, or early 1900s, was really focused on the major arcana, and he really didn't think the minor arcana were worth anything. He did eventually rake a whole deck, but he wasn't impressed with the minor arcana. Then we had, oh my gosh, I'm having a total brain blank. And it's somebody that I really love, Eudes Picard. He was really, at the same time period, was really interested in the minors and saying, look, people, we're doing all this work on the majors, but nobody is cleaning up the minors. Like, nobody's doing the work to really solidify a minor system. So he did a ton of work with the minors, and I don't agree with all of his associations, but I love what he did with the minors. And so there is a deck that I think Los Scarabeo has, where it combines the two. It has the majors, Worth's majors, and Picard's minors. So that is a deck that I have and I've worked with, but I've never just taken two different decks and smashed them. Like two different tarot decks like that. No. No. But it would be interesting. It would be interesting, but no, not for me. I got Daniel Smith shoes. Oh, nice. No holiday this year, and I wanted for years. Nice. Yes, you know I'm a huge Daniel Smith fan. Huge Daniel Smith fan. If I could only have, this is what you guys always ask me this about decks. If I could only have one paint, I don't even, it gives me a panic. The same panic as tarot. I have a lot of palettes. I really like the new one that I got that is Da Vinci's. I do really like that Earth Friendly palette that I did a review of on the channel. But if I could only have one brand of paint, it would have to be Daniel Smith. I could not give up Daniel Smith for anything. No. But I do love Sennelier as well. I love Sennelier for botanical and for layering. So for different things. Thank you, Mr. Jones. It's called Universal Worth Tarot. That has Worth's majors and Picard's minors. I know. Patrick and Elrond, I think, are talking about geomancy. And yes, I do believe that Patrick would love geomancy if he gave it a true shot. I'm going to try to make him, let me give him like one-on-one counseling. Geomancy counseling. But I actually do think Patrick would like it if he would just give it a chance. And I'm really hoping, and Patrick has said this, I'm really hoping that he will use my journey tokens. His mom loves my journey tokens. I'm really hoping that he does like them, but he's like working with like getting to know them each. He has a process, but I'm hoping that will kind of flip a switch for Patrick to work with casting a little bit more. I did not see that, Miss Nikki. You mean the new version of her round one, or a totally different mini palette? Oh, you definitely need to get a refund of that. I do like Liquitex as well, Lou, a lot. Hello there, Miss Lou. You know, I saw you earlier and I meant to say hello and then something happened and I didn't get back to it. I do really love Liquitex. In fact, if you see this door right here, if I open that door up, you would see a shoe holder that covers this whole door that is full of Liquitex paint. But I'm a watercolor person. I'm going to give the project that I'm going to start is going to be working with gouache, because gouache is kind of like, I think, like a space between watercolor and acrylic. It's going to hold a little bit space, give me some texture ability, but still have the water ability. So I've worked with it a little bit, but not like intensely. And I'm waiting for something to come tomorrow, and I'm going to start a project with that. Sorry, Patrick is the living wheel. So sorry. Yeah, I'll have to look and see, Nikki. I do normally keep up with her stuff, so I'll have to see what it is. Two rocks. They're chatty like two rocks, and my tokens are chatty like me. That does not surprise me. Oh, it was on her Instagram. I'll check it out, Nikki. Thank you for letting me know that, because I do love that kind of stuff. There are less wells, but bigger, so fewer cups. That would be nice to have, though. Sometimes it's good to have those 12 wells. 12 is like the perfect number. You can make a nice set with 12 paints. Yes, this is Patrick, aka Living Wheel. There's an ancient geomancy machine, and you can look it up on just Google geomancy machine, maybe, and you can see a picture of it. It is an ancient geomancy machine, and Patrick really is holding out for having a working version of that to learn geomancy with. Hello, Miss Lucy. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Okay, I'm sure I missed things. I apologize, folks. We are all over the place. Art supplies, geomancy, sticks and stones. Fae, just terrible things being said about the Fae by Sherry. She's so lucky I didn't ban her. I'm just teasing Sherry. I just no, it is not plastic, Elron. Look, it is silicone. You missed the beginning where we talked about this. So far, this is a huge winner for me. It is silicone. It is wonderful. And it can burn away completely clean when you're done with it. It doesn't have any taste, and it can go in hot water. So no, Mr. Elron, this so far is the winner of my straw hunt. Let's see. I know art supplies are cracked for sure for me. I thank you, Patrick. My tarot collection almost attacked me because I was even thinking of saying what Sherry typed. I can tease Sherry. She can take it. That's something my son would have, is Godzilla eating a gnome on your patio, for sure. Okay, I'm sorry. Art and Tarot by D has a serious question, folks, not my silliness. Let me see if this is what Patrick's talking about. Mr. Jones just put up a link. If it will open. Oops. Yes, exactly that. Click on that link. That is exactly what Patrick wants. He's holding out to learn geomancy till he can have one of those machines. Let's see. I'm sorry, Art and Tarot by D. I apologize for all these crazy people who are sidetracking me. Do you know the name of the deck that has the Lady of Guadalupe as the Empress card? Should you try Googling it? Since we're on Google. No, images, and then hitting images. Maybe Lady of Guadalupe as Empress Tarot. I don't know. Ooh, there's one. Try that. Try putting in. It doesn't say what the name of that deck is, though. I don't know. Maybe somebody on chat will know what that is. But if you Google Lady of Guadalupe as Empress Tarot, an image does come up. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about or not. I don't know what deck that is. Yeah, I see I bet it's the one I see there. I don't know if that's an actual deck or just art. So I apologize, but I am no help on that question. Oh, here we go. Somebody is saying something. Yes, it is only sold as a majors. Yashi Yamatoni? Tony? I don't know how to say that correctly, but whoops. It looks like you might be able to get those majors if you want the majors. Thank you. That's not coming anything up, but maybe it's something to track down. Looks like somebody at least has heard of it. Yes, astrology. Hello, Miss Molly. I feel like we haven't seen you for a while. Hello, hello, hello. Astrology is a bottomless pit for sure. That's I think that's actually even an understatement. Yeah, I have one major only deck. The only one that I have, I think it's not out here, is the LaCourte one, which is, I love the LaCourte tarot, but I just don't use majors only decks, but it is so beautiful. Elrond, I'm not sure what Elrond is talking about. Oh, I know. Elrond's trying to suck me into evolutionary astrology. I just don't have brain time right now. Not yet. Not yet. Miss Molly says I took an improper. Good for you. Big kisses and hugs to me because you do what you need to do for sure. I just missed you. In the avalanche of tarot oracle playing card decks that you review, which are the ones that you go back to over and over? Which ones have stuck with you? That's a good question. Do some get reviewed and never returned to? I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, yes, I'm sure there are some that get never returned to, that just stay. I keep them because it's for collection. I do return to most of my decks at some point, just like I'm going to return to an old book that I loved at some point. The ones that are in here, so this is tarot, and this is oracle. I think, did we already go through these? Because I'm not going to do it again if we already did. These, and I know it's a mess right now because I literally was pulling something out of here, and so it's all over the place. These are decks that I have reviewed and that I love and that I return to a lot. So this is definitely, if I were to reduce I love this. This is a set of its own because that's historical decks, and I adore these. But this is oracle decks that I return to over and over again, and like some of my favorite for one reason or another. And these are favorite tarot decks for one reason or another. So I definitely have decks that I have reviewed and that I go back to over and over and over again. And I have some more over on I filmed I had to clean my tarot table. And while I was cleaning it, I just filmed it because I have the camera right above it. I don't know whether I'm going to put it up or not, because then I thought that's probably going to be really boring. But at the same time, I just kind of talk about why I have certain things on my tarot table. So let me know if you want me to upload that or not, because I had second thoughts after I did it. Anyways, okay. Miss Havana said the Empress card is from Yoshitani's Fairy Tale Tower, but it's a work in progress. Thank you, Havana. Havana, did you get a new picture? It's, of course, so small I can't hardly see it, but it looks new and it looks like it's really cute. Or lovely, I should say, not cute. You're a grown woman. But that, your picture looks really lovely there. Okay, so I'm glad you missed me too, Molly. That sounded so terrible. Good. I am so glad you missed me too, Miss Molly. Jeez. Sometimes things come out of my mouth and I'm like, really? Did you just say that out loud? Thank you, Mr. Jones. I have to look at anything that says fairy tale. Look at the Wheel of Fortune. Look at the moon. Folks, click on that link. Look at the Fool Mermaid. Ooh, the Devil. Ooh, the World. I love there's a name for that monkey guy. I love that. Oh no, to the poor Four of Swords. Why did she do that? Five of Swords is lovely. Oh, I love the Page of Swords. Oh my gosh, I love the Six of Cups. Look at the Five of Cups. So this is going to be turned. Sorry, folks. Do not blame me. You can blame. You can blame whoever just stuck that up there, Mr. Jones. Look at the Eight of Coins. That is interesting. Her poor feet. This is really sweet. Oh, I love the paintbrushes, the Ace of Wands. Oh my gosh. Why do they have to make so many decks? I'm really over. There's a part of me that's really over over like all of these wonderful decks. Like, people stop. Just stop. Oh, has it been going for ages, Alchemy Arrow? So are we, maybe it's going to be forever before it gets, that's good. Maybe I can be ready for, oh, don't click it, Nikki. That one is, I love the coloration there. It's so bright and fairy tale color feeling. I love it. Okay, sorry, folks. I took a turn. Took a turn to the dark side because I clicked that link. Kelly, are you going to review a comparison of the Pagan Other Words version 4? Probably not. I mean, unless there's changes, like I don't intend to buy another Pagan Otherworlds, aka Patrick bought the other one I have. So, what? I'm so sorry, but Miss D just said if you click on her shop, you can choose your own cards for the deck. What does that even mean? Do not tease me. D, do not tease me. Do you mean you can actually pick your own versions of cards? I will just have an apocalypse. There will be an apocalypse if that is the case. Anyways, I can't even handle this. 2020, that's not far away. Oh, doesn't it look amazing, Tom? I know. I'm with you, Sherry. I have to choose. I have to choose between art and tarot decks, and right now art is winning. Choose your own variety pack. I don't even know what that means. We're gonna have to look into that, D. Okay. I'm ignoring Elrond, who's trying to get my crazy brain sucked into. I have no space in my brain to learn something new this year. I need to finish up compiling everything to put into my Love of Divination book. Too long list of references. Yeah, somebody had. Okay, let's bring my brain back around because. Bring my brain back around here. Somebody said something about Pagan Otherworlds 4. I don't intend on reviewing it if that is the case. That is not, that's an expensive deck that I love, but unless there are some kind of changes to it, I don't think that would be something that I would purchase. So I don't know. I guess that's the best that I can't. I'm not going to ignore you, but I'm ignoring your evolutionary astrology, Elrond. I'm just not looking. Oh, I have been using Children of Litha nonstop since I got it. Nerdy Snaily, I adore it. What do I have on pre-order? The only thing I have left, I think, from Kickstarters is the Botanical deck by Cracked Amethyst, which I can't wait for. The Lightseers Tarot, which I'm looking forward to. And of course, you all know the one deck that I want for 2019, which is the Majestic Earth Tarot. I don't see if anybody's saying whether I don't care, Molly. I'm not buying any texts right now. I'm not buying any decks right now. Is it different? Um, I think you would check that book. No. No, we do not, Patrick. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. My brain's starting I can feel my brain nosediving. It's been a long day. Plus, my sinuses are starting to like get filled up. I can feel it, which always affects my brain. Sorry, folks. It is just bad allergy season. So I can definitely feel myself starting to go like this. There have been too many things said in this chat that is making me crazy. Uh, let's see. I'd love a tarot show too. Yes, me too. Me too. Have you seen, Lou? Have you seen on Instagram the tarot in a tin can? I did not. I should have eaten between classes. I started to, and then I got sidetracked because this is what happens. But anyways, Lou, look up on Instagram the Tin Can Tarot because she literally has like a little vehicle that looks like a tin can, but it's a gorgeous little like tarot place in the middle of it, or it's a tarot, it's like instead of a little gypsy wagon, Romany wagon, right, instead of that what we think of like as a gypsy wagon, with where you can go in and get tarot readings, it's a tin can. It's shaped like a tin can, but it is so cute, and I love her Instagram. I'm seeing her she sets it up at places and does tarot readings and stuff. I'm like, yes, that's what I want. Not a tin can, but just like a little mobile thing like that. And then I can just go around the states and do tarot readings. How about that? I'll just park it out in front of Jolene and Patrick's shop. That's exactly what I would do. I would take my little wagon, my little tarot wagon, and I would park it in front of Patrick and Jolene's shop. Oh dear. Okay. Where's the Majestic Earth? It was a Kickstarter last week, Captain Nolan, or last week, oh my gosh, last year. It's due out in the next couple months. I'm guessing it was due out, I think, in spring, but it is, you have to figure 3 to 6 months, I think, over what anybody says. And so it's due out sometime this year is what I'm telling myself. And it is, I think, just going to be my heart's desire in a tarot deck. So it's all old lands, not all, I mean, there's people in some of the landscape, but it's like landscape art. But she is the one that did Tarot of Delphi, and she did Tarot of Delphi, and she curated that deck so amazingly that I know that this deck is going to be curated just as amazingly. Anyways, sorry, I'm rambling. I know. Divination in the courtyard in front of a little mad. That's Jolene will kill us. I'm trying to scroll back. Oh, you even found the Instagram. Isn't it adorable, Mr. Jones? I mean, it's such a cute idea. And she literally takes it around and does tarot readings in it. It just makes me happy. I mean, how can that not make us happy to see somebody driving around in a tin can, but so cute on the inside? I think if you go to her website, you can see like a little bit of more of what the inside looks like. But anyways. After we're done frolicking in the mountains, exactly. Jolene would definitely kill us. She's like, I don't know if I can take you guys in the same room. Okay, let's see. Oh, we need to pull my brain along. Let's pull my brain back because I'm definitely feeling a little bit weird. I'm hot, actually. I think I'm feeling hot, and my allergies are like congestion. And so it's me, and I haven't eaten, and I've talked like now for like 5 hours. And so I think I'm getting a little lightheaded, which is pretty funny. Okay, let's change this out. Tarot Student got us on a habit of once a week. They are, Tom, thank you for saying so, because I feel like I was crazy. Allergies, for me, I have allergies all year long, and the older I get, it just gets worse. But this time period right now is absolutely wretched. It's really bad. Anyways, Tara Student had talked me into, by her wily nature. So once a week, we are pulling a card for the week for from the Art of Life Tarot, which is a really fantastic deck that I should have done a walkthrough of a long time ago. Last week, we got the Tower, which says, "What does not destroy me makes me stronger." You know what would be nice is to see if anybody needed the advice of this card last week. I definitely did. This was apt. I did. I needed this lookout ahead of this past week. It's been a good week, but it's just been really crazy. And having my sister in town has made it, and yet I had a lot of things that needed to get done, and I didn't really care because my sister was in town. And so it's been kind of that. It's just been one of those weeks where I just feel like I couldn't get caught up. And at the same time, I didn't really care because family is more important. And so I definitely constantly felt like I was in a moment of that needing to remind myself, you can get through this. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So oh, I do love that, Jamie. I got that too. I don't have it right here. It's over on my other table. I got that mini half planner as well, all Patrick's Fault, and I love it. Is there a way to get, I believe so, Captain Nolan. I think that once the Kickstarter, I'm almost positive. I would message her, because you could message and ask her for sure. But I'm pretty positive that once the Kickstarter's been fulfilled, that she's going to have decks to sell. But you might be able to message her and get on a list. I have no clue. I feel like I read that there would be stock to sell afterwards, but I don't want to obviously promise this. Yeah, Nikki, you don't even want to know. Nikki, don't even look. And yes, I do love Neti Pot. Somebody, I think there was a beautiful name that I'm going to slaughter if I can't see it when I say it. Celia, I think it is. Suggested a neti pot. I do actually like neti pots. They help my son Michael a lot. He could use them. If he could use them, anybody can use them. Because, anyways, he could use it. I do, but you have to get it just right, or else you feel like you're drowning. But if you do it correctly, you don't feel like you're drowning. And I do think that they are helpful. And you shouldn't be pouring the water into your nose, Elron. You should be pouring it through your nose. You should not be pouring it into your nose. It should be irrigating. And sorry, I want to go for a minute back to Captain Nolan. It is worth taking a look at it. I think actually you would, not that I know you, I'm sorry, but I feel like you've been around a long time and I know what decks you comment on. So I feel like it would be one you would be interested in. Yes, definitely don't drown. I've never tried one, said Miss Molly, but I probably should. Yeah, it's, again, if you do it correctly, you shouldn't feel, and I have issues with, I wouldn't want to feel like I was drowning. That would cause me issues, and I can do it. So I feel like, again, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Hello, Rowan Fox Feather. I love your name. Who made it to live chat? Yay! It's a little bit of a crazy live chat because my brain isn't working. I feel like I missed something. Oh, so Christina said that last week was a Tower Week as well. I wondered if it would resonate with anybody else, but it definitely resonated with me. Oh, I'm sure there are Neti Pot channels. I'm very sure of that. Yeah, I'm going back. Sorry, they keep talking about this beautiful, but I'm going to do a walkthrough of it once I figure out exactly what I'm doing with it. But I can't decide if I would want it in full size or small size for next year. Miss Alchemy's Arrow also had a Tower Week. Yeah. So let's see what we get for this coming week. But I will say, it was helpful to know it because as soon as stuff started to go a little bit south, I was like, okay, let's go back. I can't even get a nice breath through my nose. Um, um, my brain died. As soon as it started to go downhill and the week started going downhill, and it wasn't a bad week. Again, it was actually a good week because I got to spend a lot of time with my sister. It was just bad in like trying to juggle. I was not doing well at juggling things. And normally I'm okay about that, but I was not. And you know how sometimes you get into like I don't want to say the word because I try not to cuss on my channel because sometimes children do watch. But I was in a budget kind of mood. This happened a lot with Michael, obviously when he was in different phases of being sick, or certainly after he passed away, or like when your sister has cancer and she comes in and you get to a little bit about, oh, budget, I don't care. Like I'm going to spend time with my sister and I just don't care, which is good on one hand because we should family first. But on the other hand, you do have to keep, because you just make it harder on yourself when everything starts to snowball. So it was just one of those weeks. Anyways. So yeah, somebody just said that I haven't necessarily noticed. I don't do neti pots consistently, but I do have tinnitus pretty badly in this year. And I haven't really noticed it helping that, but I haven't done it in a while, and certainly not since my tinnitus has been even worse. So the only thing that helps my tinnitus, somebody on this channel tapped me into Mucinex D. That's the only thing that helps with any of my ear issues. Whoever you are, bless you. Okay, so let's come back here. Tom, I'm going to have to unsubscribe from you if you buy the Majestic Earth just to complain about it. All these people are about to get banished. Sherry's going to get banished for what I shall not repeat, she said about Fae energy. Tom is going to take the deck I have been just waiting for, and he's going to bash it, and I'm going to have to unsubscribe from his channel. And you know I don't even like keywords on cards. But have I noticed that tinnitus gets worse when I don't even know? Is MSG, do you only pretty much in the US now get MSG from mostly like Chinese food and things like that, like at Chinese restaurants? I don't know a lot about MSG, to be honest. So maybe I eat a lot of MSG and I don't even know it. From my very rough idea of MSG, I thought that was something that it's in so many things. Oh, Tom, that I don't know. Maybe I should look into it. Is that supposed to sometimes make your ear ringing worse? Oh, it's in a lot of seasonings. Am I wrong to say that in the am I totally off base to say that the talking about it seemed to have gotten popularized through like talking about Chinese food and on different like Asian foods? I don't know where I even got that idea then, because everybody's like, oh no, you goof, it's in everything. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anything. I don't even know why you guys come here to talk to me. I really don't. A pack. I mean, there's so many things it says natural flavors. So how are you supposed to know if it is actually natural flavors and not MSG? That's terrible. Okay, so I was connected with like Chinese restaurants. I do remember reading about it, but I don't eat a ton. I mean, I do like Chinese food, but oh, I see in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, well, I was around in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Thank you, Tom. That's what I was asking. Like now that I said that, I'm like, well, is that was I completely wrong? And that was just like a slur thing that people were just blaming it on the Chinese for. That's what I was wondering, Tom. Thank you. I don't have any clue about that. That's why I was wondering whether or not I was completely off target with that. So I apologize to any Chinese restaurant. I just do remember hearing about it in relation to that. And that's the only thing I know about MSG. So that's very interesting. It's a flavor enhancer, says Ultraviolet Morgan, who is my superhero. She must be a superhero with that name. So it's kind of salty, but worse than salt. I'll have to look into it. I mean, I know that a lot of my my ear ringing is quite loud. It's gotten much louder over the last couple of years. And a lot of mine is from repeated sinus infections and repeated ear infections. So my guess is that MSG is probably not contributing to my ear ringing, but hey, maybe it makes it worse. I don't know that. So, so yeah, but my guess is it wouldn't have a lot of impact because I know that mine is like damage from so much infections. Tom, that's a hard thing. Tom's trying to eat better without turning into a miserable jerk or a more miserable jerk. Tom. I'm eating better as well. And I find just having lots of really good tasting things around helps reduce that desire to turn into a miserable jerk from eating well. Just for me, it's been lots of, like I have a market, like a fruit and vegetable market, and just having really good tasting fruits and vegetables, that flavors just being so strong and fantastic around has really helped me. I've been doing it for maybe a month now. And that has really helped me because then the flavors are just so fabulous that you're not really missing all of the yucky stuff as much, or the good yucky stuff. Okay, I know I'm missing things. Okay, let me scooch back here. Nikki, did I pre-order the rune deck? Don't even show me this deck. It's the ones I think it is. No, I have not. I can say that because I know I haven't ordered any. I haven't ordered any rune deck, so I know yes, this is the one, Miss Nikki. No, I'm not buying that deck. No. That deck is absolutely gorgeous, but I don't. I've already. No, I don't. I don't need it. And Patrick is being horrible as well. I'm not gonna. I'm not even that tempted. It's so gorgeous, but I don't use rune decks. And that actually turned me off, to be honest, Patrick. It's 700 GSM cardstock. To me, that sounds like it would be like little wood planks. And that doesn't even appeal to me, at being 700 GSM, number one. Number two, runes are meant to be cast. I'm going to go on a crusade. I'm already on the geomancy crusade, so I'm on a crusade to keep geomancy alive. That is my one crusade that I'm on. Number 2 crusade to be on is to get people casting things. If it's not my tokens, which are made to cast, then get you some runes, make you some runes and cast them. Make you some moems and cast them, as in throw them. I'm pretty sure you don't throw your cards, Alchemy Zero. But no, I mean, I have a lot of OM decks and they're absolutely beautiful and stunning. There's an OM deck out that I definitely want to get, but I just simply don't use them. They're made to be thrown and touch each other and pile on top of each other and do things. And so I'm resisting, even though that deck is absolutely stunning. Minus the 700 GSM, I don't even like the sound of that. But the deck's gorgeous. So if you like rune decks, buy that deck all you want. You're not going to convince me. So let's see. It is Molly. I mean, go for it. I say everybody else buy it because I'm not going to buy it. And watch, I say that, and yeah, maybe you could throw them at 700 GSMs. You could probably toss them around pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I figured you'd be a caster, Alchemy Zero. That I would have put money on the fact that you cast them. So, hello, Miss Andrea. I feel like there's some people in that I haven't seen in a while, and I didn't even see Miss V come in. Miss Veronica, I'm so sorry. My brain's fuzzy, and people are trying to tempt me into decks that I would never ever use. 700 GSM. Did I say MSG? That doesn't even surprise me. I'm sure I did. Ignore me. Ignore me. Yeah, and again, we can change things, but the fact of the matter is, you know, anyways, I've already said my piece. I'm on a crusade to get people to cast the thing. There is a difference between laying out cards and casting something. And so that's kind of completely changing things. That kind of completely changes the way that it's used. And that doesn't mean you can't learn that way, because I learned that way. So I'm not saying don't throw away your decks. Please, if you like rune decks, buy all the rune decks you want. If you like OM decks, purchase them. There's some beautiful ones out there. I have many of them and I love them. I just don't use them. So I'm trying to not buy decks that I will not use, that I know that I'm not going to use. People, I know, Sherry. Tell everybody to knock it off. No. Yeah, see, that would be the same thing, Miss Moon Priestess. I have some casting dice for tarot. It's not the same thing. Number one, you can't get all the combinations, but it's not even really meant to be cast. So I would probably say the same thing about tarot. It's made for cards. If you went fly fishing, would you rather cast with a fly rod or draw a few cards? I would rather cast it with a fly rod, aka cast your runes, folks. Captain Nolan is on my side. Domino divination. I have done dominoes. I don't know if you're talking about something else, but I have used dominoes to, I feel like I have not used everything. I have not used everything to do divination, but I've used a lot of things, and I definitely have done dominoes. Dominoes are great, actually, for divination. It's just, for me, it's pure numerology. Definitely lovely. I like to do choosing with cards and hold the stones, rooms, and all stuff. Bone casting confuses me, especially when they use bones that all look the same. I think if you work with them enough, you would kind of get, obviously, differences between those. Same thing with like cowrie shell casting. I think Please, I wish Miss Ossette was on because I think that she would know about cowrie shell casting. Alchemy. Nobody knows. Humor is very difficult to get across in text. It is the nature of the beast, right? It is the nature of the beast. It is very difficult to tell when somebody is being funny unless they are really overdone, right? If it's overdone is the only way you can really tell with text, with black and white text. Hello, Mr. Al. I love the shell casting because of water. Yeah. I have never used cowrie shell. I happened to see it in, there's actually a book about it at my Barnes & Nobles, which I was surprised to see. But see, at least you're laughing. As long as you're enjoying it, Alchemy's there, you're good. Did K. Chris go someplace, Ravensong? I'm totally behind on the YouTube world. Ms. Veronica said, people can't tell when I'm kidding in person, much less text. People can tell when I'm kidding because I'm usually cracking up. I just usually crack up at myself. It's true. You have to use emojis in text if you want somebody to know you're joking. Did you also, I thought maybe, Tom, I really thought somebody at my place just maybe ordered it and then it wasn't, I didn't think they were actually stocking it. I thought somebody had ordered it and not picked it up. But if it's at your Barnes & Nobles, yeah, I have some degree in a geomancy book because, you know, in Yoruba, they use a form of geomancy as well. And so there, I think in one of the books I have on that, it talks about, because they will use strings of cowrie shells to cast geomancy, but I've never like literally looked into or tried to cast cowrie shells. So I don't know anything much about it, but I think it has to do with how many are upright and face down would be my guess, but don't quote me. I think Mr. Jones is about to turn into a pumpkin as my guess. Okay, I'm going to pull the card. Let's pull this that I've been shuffling forever. Oh, well, hello, Two of Pentacles. So anyways, this is from The Art of Life, and this is just a one card that we've been pulling to kind of sit with over the rest of the week. Okay, let's pull this baby. Ooh, here we go. We have two actually, but this is the one we're going to go with. This is the Magician card, and it is a painting. I'm sorry, even with my glasses, I've got to get it away from my face. This is a painting by Paul Signac, I believe is what it's saying, and it is from 1890. Right here. And the quote says, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul, of course, by William Henley. Of course, of course. So Magician is such a powerful, and I love this quote for it because it's just, it puts us back. It's for me, the Magician is the reverse of the devil, right? So in the Devil card, we've abdicated our power over to someone or something else. That's how I read the Devil. Again, you do you, right? But for me, it's about giving over our power to a situation or to a person. But in some way, we've abdicated our power and we've abdicated taking responsibility for our own self, right? But the Magician is all about owning your own power, right? The Magician is all about being the master, having everything that you need within you and utilizing it and using it and taking responsibility for how you use your own power. So I love this because we need to remind ourselves of this apparently this week. So keep the idea of the Magician, maybe even pull a Magician, like your favorite Magician card out of one of your decks, pull it out and set that out for you, because this is going to be set out on my desk. So I see it all week long, obviously. And lean into that energy of being the master of your own fate. Be the captain of your own soul, Captain Nolan. um, so that when you feel like you may be giving over your power or your risk, again, for me, the devil is not just about giving over your power, but you also give over responsibility when you say the devil made me do it, or this person made me really, really angry. Like, that person didn't make you angry. That person did something really probably annoying, but how you react to that is your own choice. I did XYZ because somebody else did this. So you're giving over responsibility for your own choices. And that to me is just as dangerous as giving over power. When we're giving over responsibility for our own decisions and blaming that or putting that off on somebody else, I think that's just as dangerous as giving over our power. So the Magician card is saying, I'm going to own my own power. It's all within me to do what I need to do to make these choices. And I am going to take responsibility of how I use my power. And I can't blame that on somebody else, because it's up to me how I'm going to choose to react to situations. So it's a powerful card. Very powerful card. Yeah, keep an eye on this week for yourself. When you feel like maybe you're blaming somebody for your own reactions, or maybe you're blaming somebody in some way, or you've given over power, take it back and say, no, 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 no. I am the master of my fate and the captain of my soul. And just keep saying that to yourself if you need it over this week. So we're going to put that in here for the rest of the week. And again, this is the Art of Life Tarot by Charlene Livingston. And it's a lovely, lovely deck. I think a bunch of people left already. They left early. You know, they couldn't wait till 6 o'clock. That's like literally 7 minutes away. I'm just teasing. You can leave whenever you want, but goodbye to everybody. I don't know who it was that left, but I saw a bunch of people saying goodbye. So it comes with a little thing where you can stick it in the thing and have it set up there for you. So we have been pulling one of those a week, and it sits here on my desk. And yes, it's by Livingston. Yes, exactly right, Mr. Captain Nolan. Mr. Captain Nolan, sir. I have military in my family. We're all military people. Not me, but oh, I can't hardly breathe now. Did someone say you're doing? Yes, I am, Chris. It's so bad. And hopefully they should come in tomorrow. Not very many, because I have lots of art supplies, but I'll make a video on it. But yes, I'm working, trying to work a little bit more with gouache, which I have some of, but I found this really neat set, cheap, neat set that has really good reviews, and I'm really interested in it. Gouache, Mr. Chris Gouache, which, as I said, is I've been watching. You know me, I have to obsessively watch billions of videos, and I've worked with gouache before, but I haven't liked the gouache that I've worked with. So I'm hoping I just need to work with it differently. But it's like between acrylic and watercolor. So you can get it watery, but it doesn't react the exact same as watercolor. But then you can also just put it on thicker and get texture and things like acrylic, which I love about acrylic, but I really like the water of watercolor. So I'm thinking gouache might be my new heaven, at least to mix with watercolor. We'll see. Okay. Do you feel different with my short hair? Oh, you probably weren't with us. I think you were gone, weren't you, when I had it cut off? I literally cried. Well, I cried for 3 days. I'm not going to lie. It's very shallow. We had many conversations. In fact, people are like, please do not ask her about her hair, because they're all tired of my hair. I did actually, I was really upset about it. But That is because it was my choice, but it was for my sister's wig, and had to be made really, really quickly. And I liked my hair. Sometimes we cut our hair because we want to cut our hair, and so I did not. It was hard. I really have to say that it was harder than I thought it was going to be, and I didn't like how I looked. I was really kind of shocked about it for a couple of days. But then I got over it with the help of my friends here on YouTube. Got over the shock, and I do love it. I feel like I feel slightly sassier with my short hair. So it was actually grown out almost to the bottom of I kept tucking it, but it was getting pretty long, and I just went and retrimmed it up. So yes, thank you, Dee. It's just one of those weird things, right? Normally when we cut our hair, it's because we're wanting to cut our hair. And so there was a lot going on. It was a very rough week in which we very quickly had to make a decision. And so, it was just like so fast. And then of course your baby sister has cancer, and there was like one bad thing after another. And it was like worse than this, and then worse, another worse, another worse. So it was just a bad week. So I think I cried for about a week, but it was always in my bucket list to have a pixie cut, always, because I'm a huge Audrey Hepburn fan. And so I always wanted a pixie. And so once I got over the initial probably week or so, I started enjoying it. And I will say that I do feel a little bit sassier with a pixie. So, that's how I feel about that. Sorry, folks, because I know everybody's like so sick of my hair. Because I was warning everybody, like, it's going to be horrible as I have to try to grow it out. And then I went and cut it again. So, anyways. Chris says the pixie cut is not on his bucket list. She does have fuzz. Yeah, she still has surgery to go, and she has radiation to go. But I will say that it's pretty amazing because it was her hair, my hair, and another one of my sister's hair. And to have her wearing three sisters' hair on her head, we as the group decided, and then also I decided outside of it since watching her and stuff. And so having her be able to wear that is very empowering. It's the power of three sisters. Hair is powerful. I mean, you read any mythologies or folklore, don't let people get a hold of your hair. Hair has power in it, and for her to have three sisters' hair on her head, I think is powerful magic for healing. So that's what I think. That's what we decided to go with. Okay, moving on to not why people talk about my hair. See, I think my hair looks better longer, but I like it short. Good. Yeah, go for it, Miss Morgan. Exactly. I do like my hair best long, I think, but I do enjoy it now short. So I'm really torn of which way I'll go with it. Let's see. It is a powerful number too, isn't it, Two Rocks? People can attest that are in chat that it was probably a bit crazy for a couple weeks. I feel like we overly had to discuss my hair, but I will also say that it was very helpful. And so the people in the community got me through the shock. And it's so stupid. It is so stupid because it's hair, right? It's hair. It grows back. It is not a big deal. But it's that combination of just dealing with somebody that you love dearly and that happening. And it was just a lot of things at the same time. So, we do gain some degree of identity from the way we look. And so, that is something I learned about myself. My other sister, so one other sister cut her hair. There are four sisters. One of them had just had a haircut the week before, and her hair was not long enough to contribute, but we didn't need it. My sister Joanna actually had to have the wig thinned because it was so thick. I have thick hair. My other sister who gave has thick hair, and even Joanna herself has pretty thick hair. So it was a hedge. They had no need for any more hair. But she would have liked it to have been in there, but she had cut her hair the week before and didn't have enough. My other sister has kept her hair short. In fact, she even shaved one of the sides. I have a picture of all of us, I think, from this week. I'll put up on Instagram. But she's kept her hair just as short as she cut it. So she's enjoyed it. She definitely has said that she felt empowered by it. So, and her hair was not maybe as long as mine, but it was pretty close to as long as mine. It has always been long. So yeah, no, I think what I mean by saying that it's just hair. It's kind of silly to think about in the middle of a cancer crisis, because even Joanna felt the same way. That in the middle of finding out that you have cancer, she was very horrified at the thought of losing her hair, right? And so even for her, it was like, I shouldn't even be. Who cares if I'm going to lose my hair? I have cancer. Like I have to go through this horrible treatment, and hers was, awful. Like she had so many different issues, so it has to have like the worst chemo you can get, and it was just one thing after another. And so in her head, she's like, it's hair. Like, and why do I care about my hair? But for her, it was so important. And so that's what I mean by that. Like in the grand scheme of life, hair is not important. It will grow back. It's not a great sacrifice. It is just hair. But in the circle of the situation, it has meaning beyond the hair. Exactly, Havana. It wasn't about the hair. It became a symbol of a lot of things. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Very poorly. I apologize. Yes, I think our brain, exactly, Christina. I think also our brains need to just go somewhere else, and we focus on something controllable when we can't control. And I think for Joanna, it was just that one thing. It was that one last thing that she had no control over. So now she can put she can, she doesn't wear it all the time. She wears it when she goes out. Her kids like it more than she does. They ask her to wear it, like to go to church and stuff. So it was kind of interesting to see their reactions were so sweet and made it well worth doing anyways. Just because it gave them a little bit of a connect, that reconnection of their mom, who they always knew was long hair. And again, she was still their mom without her hair, but it really meant something to she has little children, and they loved it, and they still love it. So anyways, hematite mezzo symbol. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a symbol. It's definitely a symbol. And it's become a really big symbol between me and my sisters. And so that's been nice. And it did turn out really pretty. Thank you, Sherry. We were really happy with it. And so I saw somebody say, what about the hair under your legs or under your arms? But remember, back when these myths about hair and the power of hair, I don't think women probably were shaving under their arms or shaving their legs. So it would have been easier to cut a piece of hair off of a person's head than it would be to try to shave a patch of hair off their legs. That would be my thought. How many kids? She has 3. She has 3. Oh, hers came back in curly and salt and pepper. We're really interested to see what color and what color her hair comes back in, and whether it turns out curly too. Silver hair does rock. Yeah, I don't know, Misty. Yeah, we're really interested to see as well. She's hoping not, because her hair is like a mousy brown, she says, although I don't think we've seen it natural in a very long time. But she's hoping that it comes back a different color. We have a lot of red in our family, like bright red. Like all of my brother's beards are red, and my grandfather's hair was like fire engine red hair. So we're kind of thinking maybe it will come out. Bye, Tom. We've probably driven Tom away with all the hair talk. Sorry, folks. This is what happens. You can blame hashtag all alchemy's arrows fault. I can't even speak. Okay. Pulling this back around. Somebody's growing their hair out a color, I think. I don't know. Is V doing something to her hair? I've lost whatever Miss Molly is saying she needs to see a picture of. I don't know. I missed that. So somebody tell me if somebody's maybe letting their silver grow in. I don't think I'll get silver. My grandmother did not get gray hair until she was in her 80s. My mom has, I think, very few. So I definitely, I have none. My hair wasn't dyed for years and years. I dyed it. I perked it up just after I cut it all off, but that's been 4.5 months. And then I just chopped a bunch off. So this is fairly close to my natural color, just maybe a little bit brighter, not by much. I'm trying, I can't tell on this because it's a different color, but everybody thinks I have blue eyes, and I don't. I do not have blue eyes. I have very green eyes, but it's this. But I never have had any gray or white, and I'm 50, so you would think I would have had some by now. I wouldn't mind to have. I would definitely go silver, but I don't have any. Oh, I need to see a pic of V. She's growing her hair out. Well, she is gorgeous and awesome. I agree, but she's growing her hair out like lengthwise or gray-wise. We'll have to see. Currently covering gray, not enough for full silver yet. Yeah. I mean, it's a choice, right? I don't think anybody should feel like they need to go silver, and I don't think anybody should feel like they need to cover it up, right? That's one of the fun things about hair dye. Hair dye is a fun thing to do. Like you can, it just allows you to play with color and things. I have no issue with it one way or another. I think it was Miss Anna, I don't think she's still on, but she was on a bit ago. Luna Soler, she showed a picture of herself. She put a picture of herself. She used to let it be silver. She's got it red right now. And it was gorgeous. Like she's beautiful in silver. But anyways, my rambling point is it's a fun thing to play with, and whether you're a man or a woman. And so, I think it's just one of those things to celebrate the silver or celebrate the being able to color your hair purple if you want to color your hair purple. I know, wasn't it beautiful, Miss V? It was really gorgeous. Rowan had her eyebrows tattooed in. Onwards also. I know. Al's like, can we talk about something else, please? Because we're done with talking about hair. This is supposed to be about, I missed Chris. I was waiting for Chris to say something. Silver equals gray. Well, you can get it really silvery though, that where it says beautiful, bright silver. So it does mean gray, but it's a brighter gray. So sometimes you have to use washes and stuff like that to get it to be brighter. Some people naturally have it brighter. Some people don't. I think it depends on, I think it probably depends on how dark your hair is, maybe. I'm not sure. We have just gone all over the place. I know, we need taco salad. Oh my gosh. This is pretty funny. I apologize, kind of, but not really. That's kind of how I feel. Kind of, but not really. It's okay. Sometimes it can get derailed. Jamie says, I've missed all the token classes. Oh, well, luckily they're in video. You can watch them back. Oh, I do enjoy the live aspect, though, just because I like to be able to see people. It makes me feel like I'm not talking to myself. I know salt lamps, all of the things we've had random conversations about. My brother likes to mascara his beard for football Sunday, like colors or something. I know I need to make some taco salad. That's always been Chris's fault. Now I have to grab up some taco salad. um, breathe, breathe. I'm scrolling back up to see if we can come up with any other topic that's not about hair to wrap this up on the knot. Uh, now everybody's going to want tacos and are thinking about what color they should dye their hair on. The token class was cool on Zoom. Oh, you hadn't used Zoom before, Chris? Yeah, I actually really like Zoom. Obviously, or I wouldn't do all my classes on it, but I do enjoy, I think it works very, very well for a class situation for sure. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Veronica. It will come back around. It will come back around. Everything does. Onward and onward to playing cards. We got to keep moving forward. Sherry got her kids to like the salt lamp. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Hello, Miss D. I saw you say hello earlier. I'm so sorry. I get so sidetracked. So I saw it and I was like, oh, I need to say hello. And then somebody says squirrel and I go over here. And there I am off. You know what I'm rewatching right now? Because why not squirrel it some more? I'm rewatching Charmed because I saw I've watched Charmed multiple times, the series, and I saw there was a new Charmed, and I watched like one episode and I was like, no. And then I thought, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, right? I thought maybe the original was just as bad at the beginning. No. So I rewatched the first one again. I thought I'm just gonna see if I'm being too harsh on this new Charmed, but no, I'm not. I'm not. There was a energy and energy about the older series right from the get-go that you really just don't feel in the new one. Sorry. There you go. There's a squirrel. I do love Lucifer. I have to figure out where I'm at. I've seen a couple seasons. I don't know how many there are right now. I think I saw the first 2 seasons. I've read the new Charms of Death. Yeah, I won't watch any more of it. I've watched the old one many times, but I've also watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all of them, multiple times. I've also watched Battlestar Galactica multiple times, all of them, including all of the in-between ones. What else do I watch multiple times? Farscape multiple times. Dollhouse multiple times. Yeah, I don't know why they remake shows either. I mean, I don't even I'm not even a big fan of movie remakes, although they make a little bit more serious, sense, I guess. But TV series, like, I don't understand why you would remake a TV series. Although, can I just say that I do like the remake of Sabrina. I don't know if everybody's been watching the Sabrina. I can't remember what the whole name of it is, but it's the remake of Sabrina, and I actually do like that. See, Discovery of Witches, I couldn't handle because the books are so much better. I mean, it was okay, and I finished it, but the books are better. Alchemy Zara was like, no, I do like the new Sabrina. I probably shouldn't. And I definitely, when I started watching it, I thought I should not watch this and I shouldn't like this, but I do like it. It's one of those, Where you kind of I feel a little bit bad that I'm enjoying this book or this movie or whatever, but I do enjoy it. I do like the magicians as well. Especially when these remakes or reboots are from shows less than 25. I agree. I can get it if they're really old, but I don't know. I just feel like figure something else out. Like make something new. Books are almost always better. I do have a couple exceptions to that rule, but books are almost always better. Guilty pleasures. Thank you. That's the word I was reaching for, and my brain just can't make it. um, there's definitely, we all have, I think, those guilty pleasures that we don't really want to admit that we like a movie that we don't want to admit that we'll watch whenever it comes on, or a book that we absolutely love that we don't want to say that we read it, or TV series that we can't, we binge watched over 2 days that we don't want to admit, and so on and so forth, right? I liked True Blood. I watched part of True Blood and then stopped watching it and then watched it again. I liked it better the second time. When I had watched it closer to reading the books, I didn't like it. I thought the books were actually better. Penny Dreadful, that shouldn't be a guilty pleasure. Alchemy's Arrow, Penny Dreadful was absolutely amazing. I do not believe that should have be a guilty pleasure, because that I think was incredibly smart, scary, awesome show. Love, love, love Penny Dreadful. Al's been into from Tales from the Crypt. I didn't have a TV because when I grew up, we didn't have a television. And so I never really got into Tales from the Crypt. By the time I was an adult and had a television, it wasn't something I ever went back to. Hemlock Grove is another awesome one. I don't like Hemlock Grove as much as Penny Dreadful. There is some parts of Hemlock Grove that I'm kind of like, really, but I still enjoyed it. Oh no, Hecate's Crossing, you need to get it. It did grow on me too. I just didn't think the chemistry, Jamie Loom. I do love the OA, Veronica. That is a really cool. The OA is a really interesting show. Very, very interesting. Jamie Loom, I feel like my problem with the Discovery of Witches was I feel like the two main people don't have any chemistry. Like I'm not, like in the books, they have such that they're just so drawn to each other, and I feel like you don't get that in the show. And I don't mind either one of the actors, I like them, but I feel like there's not any zing between the two of them, and it makes it kind of painful to watch. That's just my opinion. Of course. Yeah, always really interesting. Very, very interesting. We don't have to talk about Oracle or Tarot. We're going to talk about hair and television. No, Penny Dreadful is this wonderful show. The very is scary and it's fantastic. The very first episode, I think I've already told this before. The very first episode. Oh, how about the new Discovery? Can we talk about the new Star Trek Discovery? I think they have done an absolutely amazing job on the new Star Trek Discovery. Bam. Being Human was really good too, Hecate's Crossing. I agree. But I was watching the first Penny Dreadful, and I was watching obviously by myself, and I was on the couch. It was late at night when I was watching the very first one. I was like, oh, what is this? I'm going to watch this. And there's a scene. I don't like to give spoilers, folks, but there is it's a scary show, and there is a scene in the very first one that it comes out of the blue, and it just somebody is sitting on a toilet, something happens, and bam, my daughter called at the very moment, um, that moment of when this thing happens, and it scared the crap out of me. Like, I literally believe I lifted off of the couch, because my phone is a lot of times like sitting on my shoulder or sitting like on the couch right over my head. So it's by my shoulder or close to my head. And so it was like right at the exact moment of a scary scene. And then the phone rang right in my ear. And I'm pretty sure I got some pretty serious height out of my scream. It was such perfect timing. I answered. She never really calls me. Like, we text a lot or FaceTime or something, and I'm like, I'm just scared to grab. I know. Happy memories. Happy memories. I know. She's amazing. Vanessa is amazing. You know what? Oh, can we? I know we should be going. We're way over. But can we just talk for a minute? As nobody give things away, because I have only seen one or two episodes. But has anybody else been sorely disappointed in? Oh, I'm totally blanking. The new one. With David Tennant, off of the book that I love by Neil Gaiman, and I am totally having a brain freeze. I need to go take some allergy medicine. Somebody help me. It's on. It just started. It came on to, no, not Game of Thrones, Andrea. Good Omens. Thank you. I love Neil Diamond. I love Neil Gaiman, and I've read the book and I enjoyed the book. But I was so disappointed, and I don't know why. I feel like I was tired. So I think I'm going to rewatch the first two, because I do try to give myself 3 episodes of anything, because sometimes they just have to get rolling. I adore David Tennant. Adore him. I adore the guy that's playing the angel guy too. And so I don't know, something about it. I was literally bored. I watched the first one. Again, it was very late at night and I was tired, but I was like, it just didn't grab me. And then I thought, okay, I'll watch the second one. I found myself, I was doing something totally different. By the time the show was over, I didn't even remember the end of it, because I hadn't even been paying attention. I was so looking forward to that. Oh, I was so looking forward to it. So I don't know. I think I need to just go at it on during the day when I'm awake. And yeah, he's a demon. And give it another chance, because I was so psyched for it to come out. Like, I was counting down. Oh, no. Anyways, I was disappointed. I thought maybe it's just me. It sounds like it's just me. It's just me and Chris. Oh, I just got a text. Apparently Joanna is not feeling good. I would definitely appreciate some. I'm sorry, we're gonna switch gears really quickly here, because my mom just texted me about Joanna. I think she's getting an infection. Like, some of her nails are starting to fall off from the chemo, even though she's done with chemo. Obviously, it's still, the effects of it are there. And some of her nails look like they were going to fall off, and one of them looked like it was infected. And so I made her call her doctor, and they called in some antibiotics, but Mom said she's not feeling good at all. Not good. Plus, truthfully, she, I think, probably really overdid it, even coming home. It's a 9-hour drive, but she just wanted to come home. which is understandable. We all told her she probably shouldn't. We were all very happy to have her, but I think she probably just overdid it. You know, she's really just worn out. She's lost weight, a lot of weight. So it's probably a combination of things. And she really doesn't want to lose her nail. She got freaked out about that. Anyway, sorry if I'm just, you know, I've said from the very beginning, I have zero guilt over asking for energy for Joanna. I just like I'm gathering it up wherever I can get it because I think it's good for her. It's good for other people, and it is good for me. So anyways, I'm just throwing that out there. Somebody throw a candle for her as we talk about. Throw all the candles. She really doesn't want to get sick before surgery because she's got to get her ovaries out before her hormones kick back in. She has to stay in menopause for the rest of her life. So they're removing her ovaries. And so she does not want the surgery to get canceled. Anyways. But Miss Ravensong, I did see that in the midst. So I'm not going to let the thing get dragged down. I just saw that text. But I knew who he was. I just can't think of his name. Michael Sheen. Thank you. I'm horrible with names, and I'm a huge Underworld fan. Why should you feel guilty? You know, you get some nasty messages about these types of things, unfortunately, in the internet world. But way more positive upholdings, which is amazing. It really has been an amazing experience for me in terms of all you guys out there, because it really does feel like there's somebody that you can go to and say, this is happening. Can you please light a candle? Can you throw a candle? Can you send some energies? Can you do whatever it is that you do to send good energy? So it really is. It's been a great feeling for me. So I appreciate it, every single one of it. Celine, oh my goodness, I love Underworld so much. The other thing is the Underworld, and I love the what's the one with the kind of more apocalyptics with. I have all of them too. I just have my movies put away. I don't even own a DVD player anymore. I'm gonna forget it. My brain's gone. Oh, thank you, Miss Veronica. I do like Van Helsing as well. I do. Okay, I am going to go because my brain is shut down and I need to call my mother because she apparently needs to have a chit chat, which is all mothers do sometimes. And so Resident Evil, thank you, Corrine. Corrine coming out of the dark. Finally see the light. I'm like, Corrine, I haven't even seen your name. And then she just pops out with Resident Evil. Bam. Good one, Corrine. That is a way to make an entrance. My aunt believes that you can't pray for yourself or your children or ask others to oh my goodness, Miss Ultraviolet Morgan, that is really sad. Now, I don't believe that by any means. Oh, that's really sad. You just have to hope. It's kind of like hoping somebody give you your first tarot deck, isn't it? That is really sad. People sometimes do have the saddest mindsets, don't they? Karine, I just love it. I feel like she just pops out of nowhere and just threw that down on the table. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I thought that was pretty awesome. That was epic, Karine. I will always remember your name. You know what, Jamie? I'm sorry. I know I said I was going. I am going. I'm going to go eat some. I think I have some chicken and some rice. I haven't figured out how. The only place I think you can watch the new Star Trek is through CBS's. You have to pay the CBS subscription. I just pay it while the season's in being done, and then I stop it after the season's over. I think it's $5 a month. I'm not sure. I don't quote me on that. But that's, I believe, the only way you can watch Star Trek Discovery. But I have to say they've done an amazing job with it. I think it's fantastic. Trueback was open for orders yesterday. It's already out. Wow, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think you should definitely keep reminding her that you're praying for her, because that's really sad. I've never even heard of that. I feel like I've heard a lot of church type superstitions, and that's not one I've heard. Andrew says there's so many subscriptions. Oh, so you can watch it on regular networks. See, at first you weren't supposed to be able to, so don't listen to me. That's like my qualification for everything. I'm telling you what I think I know, but please check it out for yourself, because I could be wrong. Well, I don't have regular cable, so maybe it's the only way you can watch it if you don't have the network television. I don't have cable. I pay for Netflix, and Katie pays for Hulu, and we share it. So that's what we use for television. I don't have a regular cable, so maybe that's what I'm thinking about, is the way that you can watch it if you don't have networks. I don't know. Check it out. It's worth seeing. Bye, Alchemy Zero. It was good to see you again. It was good to see Miss Molly. It was good to see some new people. It was good to have Corrine coming out of the dark and throwing down the show for me. Resident Evil for me. So, where can you watch Good Omen? Good Omen is an Amazon Prime show. So I'm pretty sure it is an Amazon. It's one of theirs that they've made. So you can only watch that on Amazon Prime. Thank you, everybody who is giving Miss Joanna prayers. Her surgery is on the 25th. And we're just obviously trying to keep her healthy to be able to do the surgery. And then it's radiation. So, thank you, Mr. Chris. And Miss Claire, I'm just going to ignore that statement. It was a question, not a statement. Okay, everybody. I'm leaving. You guys all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your weekend. And I will all be talking to you soon. This is the sentences that I make. I will all be walking to you soon. I feel like some people that didn't know me would show up for parts of these chats and think that I was drinking something. It's just Coke Zero, folks. It's just Coke Zero.